Okay, this is example 1, and we are going to graph the following equation. And so my equation is going to be y equals x minus 2. And notice that we're working with two variables now, right? We have an x and we have an y. So we have two variables, so this equation is going to be graphed on the Cartesian plane, right? Because it has an x-axis and an y-axis, right? And we have x values here and y values here. So in order to pick some points, you can pick any x values you want. I'm just going to pick, so this is actually number 23, let's see, 23 in your book. Yes, 23 in your book. On page 418, right? And the directions say graph the equation and select integers from x from -3 to 3 inclusive. So they're saying pick -3 to 3 just because this is your real number, right? The x-axis. That's what you've really been doing when you were graphing these inequalities. Here's 0, -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, 3. And it's just a nice range to see where your graph is going to be. I mean, you can pick, 46 if you want, but why if you can pick a nice, 0, 1, -1, -2. Okay, so let's graph this. So y equals x minus 2. Well, if x is, let's see, I'll pick -3, right? I'll start with this guy. If x is -3, then I get y equals, right? I'm substituting this -3 for x minus 2. And what do I get? I get -5. So what is the point that what did I find? Well, I found -3. And let me just switch colors. And my output was -5. Okay, so input, output. Similarly, if x is, and again, I'm just going to pick -1. If you pick -2, it's the same idea. -1, so if x is -1, I input -1, subtract it by 2, and -1 minus 2 is -3. So what ordered pair did I find? Well, I input -1 and my output was -3. And let me just do, well, let's do x equals 0. This is a good one. If x is 0, y equals, oops, and again, we're just substituting values for x. If x is 0 and I subtract 2, I get 0 minus 2 is -2. So what ordered pair did I find? Well, I input 0 and my output was -2. And let me do one more. X equals, let's do 1. So if x is 1, what is y? Y equals 1 minus 2 equals, and that's -1. So what's my point? What's my ordered pair? Well, I input, right, these are my inputs. I input 1 and my output was -1. Okay, so input and outputs. So again, this is another way of thinking of this equation is, let me just get my cursor to go up. Just think of a machine. I mean, we're going to be talking about functions in this section anyway. But you're basically, so you have, let me just erase this. So you have the pink, you have the x values, right? And you're inputting the x, right, into some, machine. which will be called a function in a bit. And there's an output, right? What comes out? What comes out is the y. So that is what you're basically doing. You're inputting an x and you're generating a y. Okay, so let's quickly graph this equation, right? Because we have, oops, let me get my arrow, right? We have a bunch of points here, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to plot these on the Cartesian plane. So let's go back to white. Whoops. Okay, so -3, -5. Let me draw the Cartesian plane first. So quickly, and again, this is just a sketch. You're probably going to want graph paper in class tomorrow, so make sure you bring graph paper. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, you know, pretend these are equidistant. This is equal to this. Of course, it's not perfect because I don't have actual graph paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me erase this. And where's my white? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, here's -5, here's +5. Okay, so what are the points that we had above? Let me shrink this a little bit, and I'll zoom in again. We have -3, -5. So -3, right, is -1. Start from the origin, -1, -2, -3, and then I'm going down -5, right, to the left -3, and so this is my final point, right? That's -3, -5. Okay, so we plot another point, and that is -1, -3. So again, start from the origin, -1, right, this direction to the left, and then you're going to go down -3, 1, 2, 3. These are little dots, right? That's another point. That's your -1, -3. -1, -3. Oh, let's not, oops. -1 is right there, and that's the ordered pair. And the next one is, again, so we've plotted this one, and now 0, 2. Well, if x is 0, okay, we're starting at the origin. It's still at 0. That means it's not moving to the left or to the right, 0 units, because we're not moving anywhere. So 0, and then -2, right, I'm going down 2 units. So this is my point. And then finally, the last one, -1, right, so it's to the right 1 and down 1, right, so this last one is right 1 unit, and then this guy is down 1 unit. And I probably should have done that in pink, but let me just maybe circle it. Okay, so if you connect the dots, you basically get a line, right? Pretend I'm using a ruler here, right? But this is the equation of this line, right? Up here, y equals x minus 2, right? So this guy, you just graphed y equals x minus 2, right? Which is a straight line.